Hi guys and gals, today we're gonna talk about core training, more specifically the ab muscle, rectus abdominis, also called the six-pack muscle. Now before going through the exercises and telling you how you should perform it, the anatomy and everything else, let's just clarify something. Training the ab muscles doesn't make you lose fat. You've gotta watch the diet, you've gotta do a lot of other things, cardio, things like that, control your sleeping, control your hormones and a lot of other things. So do not think that this is gonna be just a shortcut for you to have the six-pack. No, you've gotta do a lot of other things beforehand. So now that that's clear, let's go through the exercises and tell you how you should perform the exercises when it comes to the rectus abdominis. Of course, there are a lot of exercises when it comes to the abs because there are a lot of muscles in this region, and they are just helping with the stability, and also if you have low body fat, it's gonna give you the look as well. But majority of people need to train those muscles because they want to have a balanced look and they just want to have a healthy physique. But if you have low body fat percentage, it's really good for you to train them so you have the look as well. Anyway, let's talk about the anatomy of the rectus abdominis first, and then go through two main exercises for training that muscle. Now, without going to specific things, the rectus abdominis muscle, if you just see the picture of it right now, it comes all the way from here inside your rib cage, goes all the way down and goes to your pelvis. So it's from here all the way down. Now, as you can see from the direction of this muscle, all it does is just bringing the hip up. But as much as it's simple, the anatomy is simple, a lot of people make mistake when it comes to training the abs. This is what I see everybody, almost everyone, not everybody, almost 90% of people do when they want to train the abs. They come to this machine and they bring the leg up, down, up, down, up, down. You see, as mentioned, this muscle comes from here, your inside of your ribs and your xiphoid process all the way to your hip. It comes all the way down, and when you just bring the leg up, you're not moving the hip. The hip is stable. I'm just bringing the leg up. If you want to work on the muscle itself, you need to bring the hip up as well. Let me give you another example with this bench. You see, if I lay down and do this, all I'm doing is using my hip flexors, which come, the main hip flexors, that come from my spine all the way inside my legs. And it's just bad. It's just not that we don't want to train that muscle, but majority of people, because they're always seated and they just bring their legs up even when they are sleeping. A lot of people sleep like this. Because of that, they already have tight hip flexors. So because of that, you do not need to work hard in the gym training those muscles as well. Actually, majority of people need to stretch those muscles. But let me show you how you should perform this exercise correctly. First, I'm gonna tell you again what the wrong version was, and then I'm gonna tell you how you should perform it. This is the version I see in the gym people do. Now this is the right version. As you saw in the right version, my hip was coming up as well. The reason is, again, to make this distance as short as possible. For that to happen, you have to bring the hip up as well. And also another thing, if you want to stretch a muscle in the exercise, because the majority of exercises, it's better if you can get the stretch out of the muscle, you do it. For example, if there's a bicep exercise, if you bring it all the way down, you're stretching it, and when you bring it up, you're just using the muscle through full range of motion. For that to happen in the abs, you've got to make sure that you do something else as well. When you go down, try to go through an anterior tilt as well. So try to arch yourself, arch your back here, so you stretch the forward as well. And when you bring the leg up, do exactly the opposite. So rotate it back, and that way you can get everything out of it. Again, let me show you what I mean. You see, when my leg is down, I have an arch in my back, so I can just put my arm in here. And that makes it possible for me to stretch the rectus abdominis. And when I go up, as you saw, when my leg is all the way up, the arch is not there anymore. So I'm tilting the pelvis as well. Let me show you again with this machine how you can perform the exercise. Again, the wrong version is this. Now the right version is this. As you saw, my hip was coming all the way up as well, and that made it possible for me to use my abs in the best possible way. The last note, I should say that we're not totally isolating just the rectus abdominis in this exercise. We're not even totally isolating the abs. In this exercise, we're still using a little bit of hip flexors. No matter how much you try, they're gonna be involved. You are gonna use other muscles as well to perform the exercise, but the emphasis is gonna be more on the rectus abdominis because of the reasons that we mentioned. Also, if you have any disc issues or back problem, make sure you do not do this exercise if it's painful. The reason is, if you have, for example, a bulging disc, when you flex your spine or do this, now it could be by bringing the chest down or bringing the hip up. Anyway, the spine is gonna be flexed. This is called the flex position. And the fluid inside your spine is gonna go back and hit the nerves if you have bulging disc or any kind of disc problem. That's a spine flexion is gonna be bad for it. And anyway, if you have that problem, talk to a specialist or doctor first, and then do this exercise cautiously.